Alright, what is up, off-topic community? You got your gossip girls, Kelci and Kylie, here with another episode of the Off-Topic Podcast. Today's episode, we have planned. It is so well overdue. We're going to talk about what's going on in 2025. We're going to get into New Year's crazy stories. And last but not least, we have a mystery emailer that emailed in a story that we did a little deep dive. Well, Kylie did a little deep dive. And we're going to go into that too. So that's going to be fun. When we got this email, I was so shocked. And I was like, man, okay, let's figure it out. Let's look into it because
we told y'all to email us.
Right. Email us. We can deep dive or, like we said, if you have any confessions, advice you want, anything like that, email us in. But anyway, aside from that, don't forget to follow the podcast on whatever platform you're on. Like it. Share it out to everybody. I mean, we're here. We're just on the road to 100 followers, and we're going to keep on doing the thing even if we don't get it. So regardless if you like us or not, share us out, like the episode, follow us on whatever platform you're on. Now, on with this week's episode. The first one we got is New Year's stories, and I have 3. Yes, I have 3.
I have 2.
Okay, so do you want to go 1, 2?
Yeah.
Okay. My first one is called Epic Fail. So, we'll get into it. I had one particularly disastrous New Year's Eve in San Francisco. I'd been waiting forever for my heart's desire, aka my crush, to invite my friends and I out with him for the New Year's parties. Finally, a week out, he half-heartedly mentioned their plans and said that we could join if we wanted to. Yes, 1,000 times yes. Obviously, one $200 dress I couldn't afford and a $150 plane ticket. Later, we got into a heinous club party and the big moment arrived. I figured I was guaranteed a kiss at midnight. Right? Wrong. I figured I was guaranteed a kiss at midnight. Right? Wrong. As clock struck, I turned to see the guy, my heart's desire, my crush, overly hitting on another girl. I then obviously proceeded to get rip-roaring drunk and eventually got separated from the group among the downtown crowd, heels in hand, tears brimming in my eyes, words slurring. A very kind gentleman and his sweet-hearted girlfriend took pity on me and let me share their cab. I was way too drunk to even remember their names. But if you're out there, you mysterious and kind, sweet San Francisco couple, thank you so much. Lucy, 29 of Brooklyn. So, if you're out there, a nice couple, thanks for taking pity on her and not letting some crazy whack job grab her. That would suck. That would so suck. Just trying to wait for your crush to ask you out, and then he barely even asks you out, and then boom, with another girl. Poor girl. It's alright, Lucy. It's alright, Lucy from Brooklyn. He didn't deserve you, girl.
Alright. This one's kind of a short one.
Okay.
I didn't write down names for these.
That's fine.
Apologies. The worst New Year's Eve I ever experienced happened when I full-out third-wheeled my best friend and his boyfriend. And I was immersed in a massive friend group of people I had never met. Foolishly, I thought that a 5-hour open bar would help alleviate any awkwardness I felt. I think I ended up with a little too much liquid courage because the last thing I remember was leaning in to kiss one of my friends and getting very blatantly rejected in the middle of the dance floor. To make matters worse, as I was making a quick escape to the bathroom, I wiped out on the stairs in front of everyone and busted up my leg.
Poor dude.
That sucks.
Oh, poor dude.
That's rough.
That's real rough. That's all I gotta say about that one is damn.
Actually, I think this was a girl. Maybe.
Damn.
I don't know. My best friend and his boyfriend. Maybe it was a guy. Your best friend's gay. Maybe you are too.
I mean, hey. This one's pretty short too. It's short, not so sweet, and to the point.
That same.
It is called Murdering Mothers. Yes. On New Year's Eve, 23-year-old Christian Gomez was spending the holiday with his family, including his mother, 48-year-old Maria Suarez. Allegedly, Maria, the mother, had repeatedly asked Gomez to move some boxes into the attic. He later told police that his mother had been nagging him for days about these boxes. Gomez eventually grew very tired of his mother's nagging and killed his mother in the most gruesome fashion. While everyone was heading to bed, Gomez walked out to the garage, picked his weapon of choice, walked back inside, and cut his mother's head off with an axe.
That's crazy.
For asking about boxes. That makes me put some thoughts in my brain about being nicer to my kids. Hey, if your mom ever nagged and bitched at you enough, would you cut her head off with an axe?
Absolutely not.
Well,
absolutely not.
Gomez did.
No?
Christian Gomez. He cut his mom's head off on New Year's Eve with an axe because she was nagging about some boxes.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm getting psychotic.
He was not very happy about them boxes. Alright, your next one, and then I got my last one.
Okay. When I was in my early 20s, my ex broke up with me before he had left the country to teach abroad. I was still madly in love with him. We had only broken up because he had been gone for so long. He was home over the holidays, and I convinced myself that New Year's Eve would be our big romantic reunion. We were at a friend's place with our 30 or so of our closest acquaintances, and naturally, the keg ran out by 10:30. So by the time midnight rolled around, everyone was absolutely mangled. I was on the hunt for my ex so we could leave together, per my master plan.
I bet they were fucked up.
I walked in on him getting a blowjob from some random girl in the bathroom. Cue full public meltdown. The next day he told me it was none of my business what he did because he wasn't my boyfriend anymore. As if him choosing to hook up with a random girl in a place he knew I'd find him in front of everyone we knew wasn't supposed to be hurtful. I told him to never talk to me, never ask our friends about me, or even think about me ever again. 15 years later, I still feel so much shame over the whole incident. Did we reunite? For that one night, sure, I guess. Do I still refer to it as the worst night of my life? You bet. At least she realized that was kind of stupid.
I mean, that's fair. But at the same time, I would have mollywhopped the fuck out of both them bitches. While that bitch was going down on him, I was out.
Because if it's your closest friends there.
Right. Like, it had to have been one of your friends.
Was it really a random friend?
Trifling asshole.
For real.
Well, alongside of trifling assholes, I got one called Friends to the End. I am a bouncer, and I have worked over 10 New Year's Eve events. I was on duty, having a good night. I was paged over to the female washroom to help a girl get her friend out of the stall because she was passed out. As soon as the door swung open, the girl who was sitting on the toilet puked all over her friend and shot herself while trying to get up. Her friend then looked at the puke and proceeded to puke all over the girl in return that had just puked on her. We gave them a whole bunch of paper towels to clean up, but whenever we called over the cabs, none of the cabbies wanted them in their cab because of the state that they were in. My bouncer buddy and I ended up taking these two best friends to the back and hosed them down, fully clothed, of course, with a garden hose. Gave them some water and some more paper towels, let them sit for a while, and then convinced a cabbie to take them home safely. Oh, I forgot to mention, this was 2 years ago. We are still pals to this day. Hell of a way to make friends. So, I mean, if you still friends, cool. But, my friend throw up on, I guess I throw back up on him too, so. You got me, I got you, bitch. and then hosed off in the back. Like, can you just imagine being drunk as fuck with your best friend, you got your club clothes on, and then there's a bouncer just hosing you off because you got so much puke and shit on you? Oh, man.
I think I'd be throwing hands.
Talk about sobering up.
I think I would be so mad about the puke that I would be throwing hands.
That's definitely
I couldn't do that.
No. Especially if I was the friend that had opened the door and then my friend was sitting there, we was trying to get her, and then she threw up on me. I'd be like, bitch, are you fucking kidding me? And I'll shut the door.
I'll leave your ass in there.
Hell no. Why you getting that fucked up in the club anyway? Shit. Well, that was our New Year's Eve stories. There was just a couple we wanted to throw in there, but we know it's February, so we're not going to keep talking about New Year's. But happy 2025, everybody. Now we're going to talk about what's going on in the world of 2025. And I got 1.5 page, well, 1.25 page.
I just made a list that we could just say the list and then you can go into details, I guess.
I like that.
I kind of just wanted to free talk about it, so didn't really. So, well, we started with the mystery sickness. Everyone was getting sick.
For real.
And then there was possibility of bird flu.
I feel like I got that bullshit when I had influenza A.
Yeah.
And then they wouldn't tell me. That shit was, I thought I was dying.
I went to the hospital and they told me there was nothing wrong with me. I tested negative for COVID, strep, flu, and RSV.
I thought I was dying.
And then there was the really bad winter storms.
Which another one is coming.
Yes.
It's supposed to be here Tuesday after this, or before this podcast drops. And then everybody will be listening to it on Thursday because they're going to be snowed the fuck in on my birthday.
Yeah. Speaking of, my birthday's Thursday. Day before Valentine's Day.
29 years of life. Jesus.
I have a doctor's appointment Thursday.
Well, have a doctor's appointment. I don't work, and I don't work on Valentine's. My boss loves me.
I work on Thursday, but I'm off on Valentine's. And my anniversary.
Hey.
And my anniversary is at the end of this month.
Yeah.
5 years.
Crazy.
2 years married.
Crazy.
Yeah. Oh, and then up next was the car that drove through the crowd in New Orleans.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then the pipe bombs in Virginia. Wildfires in Los Angeles.
Everywhere. And Japan, apparently. Japan's on fire, too. Yeah.
That's crazy. And then TikTok getting banned and then us getting it back.
Yeah, so listen, I think, conspiracy theory on that whole situation.
I got one on too.
I think that, 1, they had to switch it over to the U.S. servers. Okay, cool. 2, I think that they were trying to get more supporters in the younger generations for Trump.
Exactly. He took it away just to be like, I'll get it back for you guys. It's okay.
Don't you worry.
Yeah.
Daddy Trump's on it.
Oh my god, I got something funny to say. So this Mexican guy walks into my work the other day and he's wearing a shirt that said, Trump's your daddy. And then on the back it says, Daddy's home. And as soon as he walked out, my coworker says, you know, wearing that's not going to stop him from deporting you, right?
Blam. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. We gonna get canceled.
Sorry, guys.
I love it.
Ooh.
Shit.
And apparently the people in, like, it was like Canada and then people that got to keep it, right? They was all there talking shit about us in the comments.
Sure.
Like, it's so quiet now. It's so calm.
There's not as much drama, I bet, because people around here fucking stupid.
Exactly. Don't blame it on all of us.
Right. Don't be putting me in that category. That ain't me.
And then the plane crashes.
Ooh, I do have one of those. I have one of those wrote down.
All of those poor kids that had, like, amazing futures, like, in the Olympics.
Yep.
Figure skating Olympics, whatever.
Yeah.
And their coaches who were just being there for their team.
That's the one I got. I dove into just a little bit, but I didn't talk about their team or anything. I talked about one of the reasons why I think that it went down.
Oh, Oh, well, I think that it went down because of Trump firing all the people who were supposed to be taking care of these problems.
That is part of it too, yes. Mine says, what a start 2025 has brought. Wait, is that the end of yours?
And then this one goes more into things that he's doing to ruin our life right now.
Losing our rights, yes, 100% trying to take my marriage away almost. Okay, so since January 1st, 2025, 6 airplanes from 6 different countries have exploded and catch fire. That's not counting all the ones that have just crashed here in the United States. 6 different countries, 6 different airplanes, and it's only been a month.
And it was comparably like there wasn't as many as there has been in this year in even the past 50 years put all together.
Mm-hmm. It's freaking nuts. Like how...
It was like the... I'll bring it into another episode eventually.
Yeah, or after we're done when I'm editing, I can link it or put a little thing in there. But, yeah, so there was that. And along with those, I do have one of them I dove into, but I'm going to do it after. So there are also earthquakes in Hawaii, Florida, and California that nobody is talking about.
Yeah. I feel like these are purposely being lit.
Mm-hmm. Japan is on fire. Los Angeles is on fire. And Japan's on fire. Yemen just hit Israel with a continental ballistic missile. So, war gonna be coming soon. Trump, now listen, there's a whole lot we could say about Trump right now. And to each their own. We do not judge you for who you like, who you don't like. We listen and we don't judge. But if anybody wants us to go into like a little mini episode on the Trump train, we can do that. But just know that we are keeping, whenever we talk on a podcast about it, we are keeping 100% biased opinion. We are talking facts and alleged rumors and things that we have heard. But we will not be personally getting attacked by just trying to let everybody know what's going on in the world. So, ICE is everywhere. Trans and LGBTQ, our community, is fighting harder than ever before. So many countries are pissed at us right now, like the U.S. There's inside jobs and so much more. Like I said, we can get into the Trump train if y'all are interested into that. So just let me know, and if not, cool. Don't faze me none. There's just so much to try and put into one episode that we could talk about, and I don't want to miss very important details. With that being said, my last thing was the airline flight that I wrote a little bit about. A lot of you have probably heard about it. Airline flight versus Black Hawk military helicopter crashes in Washington, D.C. Ends up hitting, like part of it, the debris ends up hitting a car on land, so it was involved. There were 67 lives lost. This is what I found really interesting, is some have stated allegedly that there was a CI or a secret agent of some sort aboard that was about to expose a lot of the president's secrets and wrongdoings, etc. He was scheduled to land and go meet and have a meeting about everything, and well, he didn't land. So we know how that went. The helicopter was not supposed to even be in that area at all. It made a suspicious maneuver just seconds right before the collision and headed literally straight to the plane. You can see it in the video. The FBI is now treating the case as a possible cover-up and has launched a high-level investigation to uncover the truth. Sources insist that it was no accident, but it was a carefully planned event. What?
I just got us an interview for a true crime story.
Ooh, bet who?
My brother. His dad's on Netflix.
Let's do it. I also have another one.
He just agreed and he said he would talk to us about
Hell
it.
yeah. I also have another one. I don't know if you heard about the shooting and standoff in Seattle, Washington.
No, I did not.
Yeah, we can. And there's a lot to it. But yeah. That's all I had for what's going on in 2025 because life's freaking crazy. And there's been a lot more that have happened. But also, we planned this episode for one of our first drops through the year, and then our schedules just didn't really plan out because we both work and have lives as well. So it just kind of happened to fall into episode 13. So
yeah,
it's whatever. It happens. It's cool. We're still here. We're still getting it. Next is the mystery emailer. And I just want to say, shout out, emailer. Thank you so much for emailing us in, giving us your story.
Taking the time out of your day to write this email for sure.
Because it is this a long email, and I'm excited to get into it. I do want to say that this emailer asked to be anonymous, so we're going to go ahead and keep that respectful for them. Let's get into it. I took screenshots because it was long. I started writing it and then I was like, holy crap, this is long. So I just read through it and made sure. Now, if I can not mess it up, we'll see. We'll fucking see. Okay. So, emailer starts out with, I found out that my boyfriend is related through marriage to Arkansas's most mass murderers, Ronald Gene Simmons. It is also known as the deadliest mass shooting in Arkansas history. A little bit about him: in 1987, he murdered 16 people in his home in Dover, Arkansas, 14 of whom were his family members. On December 22nd, he murdered his wife and the oldest son by bludgeoning them in the head with a crowbar, then shooting them with a .22 caliber pistol. First of all, overkill. That is overkill as fuck. You probably done killed them after you bludgeoned them. You didn't have to shoot them too. What?
Well, the bludgeon wasn't the exact cause of death, because that's what I kind of touched on my part, was the exact cause of death on all of them.
Oh, okay. He then murdered his 3-year-old granddaughter by strangulation and dumped their bodies in a hole that he made his children dig. What? What the hell?
And on my part, I have all the children's names and everything.
Whew. He waited for his other children to arrive home from school for Christmas break. He told them that he had presents for them, but had to give them the presents alone, one at a time. He killed 4 more of his children by strangling them and holding them underwater in a rain barrel, and dumped their bodies in the same hole as the wife and the oldest son. On December 26th, his other family members arrived at his home as he had invited them over for the holidays. He murdered another one of his sons and his wife, and strangled and drowned their 20-month-old child. Ugh, poor thing. He also shot and killed his oldest daughter, Sheila, and her husband, Dennis McNulty, and their 2 children, one of which was 7, the other 21 months. Damn, he killed lots of kids. Shit, didn't even give them no life. My boyfriend is related to the McNultys through his grandmother's side, and Sheila Dennis, and their 2 children are buried at the same Catholic church as his grandmother. A few weekends ago, we went and visited her grave, where it just so happened to stumble across their grave as well. And the realization just clicked. I will attach a gravestone photo that I took while we were there. I have also driven very close to where the murders took place at Ronald's home in Dover without realizing that it had been done. It is on the same road as my best friend's parents' house. That's crazy. That's super crazy. I don't know if I could go down that street knowing what I know.
Yeah.
I really don't think I could. I mean, just turning on the road, I'd probably start crying. Like, that's a lot of lives lost. That's crazy. The bodies of the family members were laid in a neat row in the lounge. The bodies of Dennis and their 2 children were covered in coats, while Sheila's was covered in Ronald's wife's best tablecloth. The bodies of the 2 youngest were wrapped in plastic and left in an abandoned car at the end of the driveway. After the murders, he drove to Russellville, which this is in parentheses, the town that I lived in for 3 years. So our emailer lived in this town that this dude drove to after murdering people.
You said Dover?
He lived in Dover, but he drove to Russellville after he murdered them.
Yep. All those people were in Dover, yep.
And he picked up presents that he previously bought at Sears. He then went back home, watched TV, and drank. Just nonchalantly. I didn't just do a whole mass murdering and whatnot.
I got a different story on Wikipedia on how the ending was.
Okay. Well, I still have a little bit, so. On December 28th, he drove to Walmart in Russellville and bought another firearm to use in an attack he was just about to carry out. His first target was a woman he met who he worked with at the law firm. He was infatuated with her, but she had turned him down multiple times. He then went on to try and kill his previous boss, who he did not successfully murder, however, did murder another man in the building who was a stranger to him. He then drove to St. Clair Mini Mart, where he killed another 2 people. His final target was his old boss of Woodline Motor Freight Company, where he held an employee at gunpoint and told them to call the police. When they arrived, he surrendered with no resistance. As the motive, a family friend told investigators that Simmons' wife had been saving up money to divorce him. During the trials, Simmons had tried... Sorry, my brain skipped a couple. During the trials, Simmons had to be removed for trying to grab an officer's handgun after a letter was brought out between him and his oldest daughter, Sheila, where it was revealed that he had sexually abused her and he was the father of her 7-year-old daughter. Holy shit! On May 31st, 1990, Arkansas Governor and later President Bill Clinton signed Simmons' execution warrant, and on June 25th, he died with a lethal injection. I had no idea of this until a few weekends ago, and it fascinates me in like a true crime junkie kind of way, not a creepy sadistic way, as well as it deeply saddens me for those poor people, and all of this happened in the area that I lived for years. I had heard about him, and my best friend's mom told us a bit about him and how he lived on the same road, but I never looked into it until I saw the gravestone. And we will put in the visuals the gravestone that she sent us. But I don't know if I can show that off. You can kind of see it. Crazy. That is so crazy. She just said that was his kid.
Yeah. I have that on YouTube.
Oh my god. Okay.
So, Ronald Gene Simmons was born July 15 of 1940 in Chicago, Illinois. And he died June 25th in 1990 in Lincoln County, Arkansas by execution by lethal injection. His spouse was Bersable Rebecca Yulabari. That's her full name, but she goes by Becca Rebecca. They had 7 children, or he had 7 children. His convictions were capital murder of 16 counts. There was also, I think, 3 attempts, or 3 or 4 attempts, and then the sexual assault of his daughter as well. The spree dates were between December 22nd and 28th of 1987 in Dover and Russellville, Arkansas.
Which is crazy to me. How did nobody not know that nothing was going on for that many days? I mean, that's not very many days, but if you think about it, to be able to murder 16 people, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. His targets were family, acquaintances, and strangers. This is
So
kind of
everybody.
like, yeah. And then what I'm going to do here next is kind of like a small spiel in order of who he killed.
Okay.
First was his wife, and then his eldest son, Gene, and then his 3-year-old granddaughter, Barbara, and then his 17-year-old daughter, Loretta, then his other children, Eddie, Marianne, and then Becky, and then his son, Billy, and his wife, Renata. He also killed their infant, Trey, and then his oldest daughter, Sheila, the one he sexually assaulted, and then her husband, Dennis, and that's the one that our reader's related to.
Right.
And then he killed the child that he fathered with his daughter Sheila.
But he never knew.
And her daughter was, yes, he knew. And her daughter's name was Sylvia.
So that letter that got uncovered was basically telling him, like, hey, I'm your daughter, and this is your daughter, too.
I think it was, from what I read, like a diary or something like that.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Where she had admitted to it. And then lastly, in Dover, his 21-month-old grandson, Michael. And then in Russellville, he killed his secretary, Kathy Kendrick, for rejection. He wounded his old boss and then killed an employee, and then shot and wounded 2 more people in Mini Mart, which I didn't mention that, I don't think. It was this part. And then his final target was his old boss, who he shot twice, and then told them to call the cops, and then he surrendered willfully. The ages...
Which he said, I'm about to kill all these motherfuckers, and I'm sitting in jail with a smile on my face.
Literally.
Like, the fuck?
This is the order of the people he killed. This one's out of order, though. 46, 26, 3, 17, 14, 11, 8, 1, 21, 22, 1, 24, 33, 7, 33, 24. Nobody over the age of 46. That's crazy.
That is so crazy.
And then these are the causes of death in order. Gunshot, strangulation times 5, gunshot times 5, drowning, gunshot times 2, strangulation times 2, gunshot times 2.
My goodness. Like, he must have had this shit planned out. Like, planned
Either
out.
that or he just snapped one day and went crazy.
I mean, that's fair, too.
Because I feel like if you plan it out, then you overthink it, and that's where most people get caught.
That's fair. That is true.
Or you think that you know what you're doing, and you really don't.
Right.
But it just depends on the person,
But whenever you just snap, it just fucking happens.
Yeah.
Man. That is crazy. Thank you, emailer, for emailing that in. That shook my brain. And it's crazy that your boyfriend is related by marriage. That is nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. Do you guys ever talk about it? Or does his family ever talk about it? Because I think that if I had something like that in my family, I don't think I'd shut up about it. If we're being honest.
That's why my brother just agreed to be on the podcast.
I would sit there and just talk about it all the time and be like, hey, did you know?
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy.
So, guys, stay tuned for more true crime episodes.
Yeah, and email us in.
Staying real close in here in Missouri, too.
Mm-hmm. We have a lot of things to talk about. We have a Springfield 3 episode planned out already.
Skidmore, Missouri.
Yep. Which was, what was his name?
Ken Rex
McElroy. That's one of them we're doing. I haven't heard if you guys want us to do more of a Southwest, Midwest Missouri, but St. Louis, Kansas City, Springfield, everything everywhere around us is all
crazy.
It's all crazy and connected, and we could definitely get into it. But there's also some more other ones that we're going to get into that are more popular, so other people are already talking about it, and yeah, so we're going to be doing a lot. I think we found more of our niche of doing true crime, so I think we're going to be sticking with that a lot. We're going to have some funny episodes every once in a while, have a different segments every once in a while, but I think everybody really reacted to the true crime. So
Mhm.
if anybody has any comments or anything that you want to let us know, like, dislike, whatever, tell us what we're doing wrong, let us know that Kelci sucks at fucking reading shit off of a screen and on paper, so we can talk about that too, because I know.
Mhm.
But I just want to thank you all for tuning in to another episode of the Off Topic Podcast. Hit that old like and follow button. Share out the episode. We're on the road to 100 followers. Just help us reach our goal. Join the Off Topic community. Let's talk shit and support each other. Comment and email in. Socials and emails will be listed below. Or, I mean, if you're under a rock, they're right there. Everybody sees them. And just remember to take some time for you and love yourself and have an amazing week. We will be back next week. And yeah, gotta go. Bye.
Bye.